So I will first give you a brief introduction about what we are talking today, that are robust older adults, and then every speaker will have 20 minutes to present their presentations, and finally we'll have 5, 10, 15 minutes of questions. Under my point of view, geriatric medicine has 3 main milestones in its history. And the first milestone, I think, came in 1935 and was led by Marjorie Warren, that published her first works on disability and dependency. And she was the one that began talking about the functional continuum, what we are going to talk just today. And her research was followed by many, many great researchers like John Brocklehurst or Lawrence Zachary Rubenstein. And they taught us how to manage, how to measure, how to deal with disability and dependency. And they shared some instruments with us, like the Bartley Index, Lawton Index. We all know them. Probably the second milestone in geriatric medicine came in 2001 and was launched by Linda Fried, the first in the left photograph, okay? Because she introduced the term frailty and pre-frailty, okay? So she gave us a way to know what was happening between healthy older adults and the beginning of disability in instrumental and basic activities of daily living. And many other researchers like Kenneth Rockwood, Stephanie Studensky, or John Morley followed them and helped our past king to be a little bit less frail than he is actually. And all these researchers showed us that we could measure frailty with some scales like the Frailty phenotype or the clinical frailty scale, so there are so many. Our group has worked in the past 10 years on frailty, and I think this is our best publication we did, because we constructed a new scale that we nominate the functional continuum scale. Here I present it to you, that can categorize every older adult under a different category from 1 to 8. So 1 is the most robust older adult you can imagine, and 8 is the most disabled older adult that you can imagine. So every older adult can be put there. And this is very interesting, not only for research purposes, but also for clinical purposes. And we have also demonstrated that this scale runs very well at determining mortality, for instance. You can see in the left panel of my slide how the accumulated survival for each category of our scale is absolutely different. And probably the first 3 superior lines will imply a healthy aging. I'm not sure, but it could be. And in the right panel, you can see another figure that was published last year that is the same, but regarding density of hospitalization. So we have taken a look on how our older adults get hospitalized regarding our functional scale. And as you can see, those with high dependency get hospitalized in the first years of follow-up, those with frailty in intermediate timelines, and those that are or could be considered robust or with healthy aging at the end of the follow-up. So that's interesting. But regarding the milestones of geriatric medicine, I think the third milestone happened 2 years ago in 2020. And I think all of you that are seated here, must try to make a shift in how you are working, because we must need to work on healthy aging, and probably not in frailty or disability, but in healthy aging. Because I am sure that all of us would like to be like all these men and women that are here, like Mario Vargas Llosa, writing at 86 years, or Lester Wright running with world records at 100 years, or Colette Mays, active pianist with 100 years, or Tom Jones singing and dancing with 81 or 20, or 82, I'm not sure, or Jane Fonda, very pretty, with 84, or my best one, Boyd Gilbert, okay, that was the first woman to be model in Vogue and Elle in the first page. So I would like to be like they are, and the shift to healthy aging has been launched by WHO. And WHO has named this next 8 years the decade of healthy aging, and has provided us with many booklets and books and papers and tools, and also the action areas where we must work and some enablers. And as you can see there, we must work in age-friendly environments, combating ageism and under auspices of integrated care. And we need to listen to older adults because they must be the drivers of the change. And we must also enable leadership and capacity building. We must connect stakeholders, and we must strengthen research, data, and innovation. So we have many things to do to promote healthy aging and to gain healthy aging. And as the first thing we need to do is to listen to older adults, we conducted a short survey in Albacete, in Spain, and we asked older adults which are their concerns. And I am going to put here a short video that is running and should have not been running just now, but don't matter. It will go, it will function. What will happen? It's in Spanish, sorry, but it's translated in English. 1 minute.
Tienen que estar haciendo la comida todos los días y luego no comer.
Llegar a quedar mi marido en una silla de ruedas que me tengan que vestir, levantar.
Perder la cabeza para no poder conocer a mi familia que tanto quiero.
Si yo estoy ahora mejor que cuando tenía 18 años.
No me gustaría nada ser dependiente, nada.
This is my mother.
Más temo y molestar a la familia o me horroriza.
Perder autonomía, perder la posibilidad de vivir, de hacer cosas solo.
Quedarme solo. Como no tengo a nadie nada más que a ella.
¿A tu mujer?
Eso, quedarme solo.
Pues que no me preocupa es no poder estar con mi familia.
No salir a pasear porque me duelen las piernas.
No puedo hacer lo que no sé. Así es que háganmelo usted y yo lo copio.
Me preocupa no poder seguir tocando esas cosas.
Okay, thank you to the ones who did the video. And as you can see here, there's no disease and there is no mortality. But there's a lot of disability, a lot of loss of autonomy, a lot of loneliness. So we must take into account what these people are asking us to do. And this is what we must fight for not achieving an unhealthy aging. And we have 3 clues for aging, for healthy aging. I think this is a really nice paper, and I recommend you that is from 2022, and try to explain main and subcategories of middle age preparation for healthy aging. Because if we want to age healthy, probably we need to begin not at 70, not at 80, but probably at 30 or at 40. And 50, I'm not sure. I think I'm a little bit late, actually. So in this paper, they show us some categories to promote healthy aging. So we need to promote healthy habits of physical well-being in middle ages, making mental health priorities, improving social connectedness, creating financial security, becoming homeowners, accepting the reality of aging, having positive view of aging, voluntary activities for planning, and planning for foresight for aging leisure. So we have many things to do. The second clue probably is that there's a great variability between what is considered healthy aging. As you can see here, data from the WHO that one could think, oh, okay, healthy life expectancy must be very different between Africa and Europe. Of course, we all will agree, no? But however, if you can see the figures, the red dots, that is Europe, for instance, you can see that there are 8 years of difference in healthy life expectancy at age 60 in Europe. That's incredible. And the best one is France. Congratulations to the French people that is here. And the worst one is Bulgaria. Sorry. These are good news and bad news, because that means that we have a lot of work to do, but also Bulgarians have a great they can improve a lot, so why not be happy so they can make many things to improve their healthy habits. And Spain, Italy, and UK are just in the middle, as you can see. And the third clue, and the final one, is that I think we need a roadmap. And the roadmap for healthy aging must include identification, biomarkers, and interventions. Regarding identification, we need only not to say what is healthy aging, but probably from a medical point of view, what is and healthy aging also. And we will need to take a look at criteria, risk factors, epidemiologic data, social aspects, and some things to avoid to become frail and not reach to disability and dependency. Regarding biomarkers, many biomarkers, we will talk in the future, our speakers will talk about biomarkers, but of course there are some nutritional and body composition biomarkers, and there are some works in Italy and Spain, and I'm sure in other countries, regarding biomarkers for healthy aging. And of course, we will need to do interventions, probably also in the Middle Ages, about frailty, sarcopenia, cognition, social aspects, physical activity, nutrition and proteins, things like that. So as you can see, but in this symposium, we are going to talk about nutrition, and all the things I have told you, some of them are very related to nutrition. So I think nutrition is a key aspect when we are talking about healthy aging. For instance, I can show you these two figures that are from our research with the FRADEA study. In the left panel, you can see predicted median survival time for our older adults, 12 years of follow-up. And you can see how the pink lines are those with a MNA 12-14, so they are not malnourished, and those with the green line are those with MNAs between 0 and 11, so at risk of malnutrition. And if, for instance, you are 80 years old and you are not malnourished, your median predicted survival time is 11 years. But if you are malnourished, your median survival time is 7 years, so 4 years less, depending on your nutritional status. And the same happens with density of hospitalization. You can see here how those at risk of malnutrition have their curves shifted left 2 years. So if you are malnourished, you will get to hospital 2 years before than if you are not malnourished. So malnutrition has to do with healthy aging. But we have many questions that I think some of them will be addressed today. We really don't know when beginning healthy. At 30, at 40, at 50, at 60, at 80? We don't know really. And how must we eat? With dietary patterns must we have? And what must we eat? For instance, there are some papers about egg protein or not, or which type of diet is the best one to promote healthy aging. And of course, we need to focus also on bone health, because we know that an unhealthy bone is a risk factor for unhealthy aging, and we must take into account a life cycle approach also, because in the first years of life, from fetal life to young adulthood, we will need to be more concerned about peak bone mass, how many bone we're going to deliver. And then when we arrive middle old ages, then probably other activities like diet, activity, falls, hormones, lifestyle, and bodybuild will be of outstanding relevance. And last, but not least important, you can see here that we must also take care of our cartilage, because osteoarthritis is one of the most disabling diseases in healthy aging. And we know that there's a path toward osteoarthritis, and there are some publications talking about anabolic resistance to protein feeding, or supplementations with hyaluronic acid or collagen supplementations that could be of interest to delay this osteoarthritis procedure. So I think we will have a very nice symposium, and now I think that we go to the most important part of the presentation of our speakers. So thank you very much, and please, Stuart, it's your time. Thank you.